This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. News is also brought to you by Desert View Hospital. You can count on us.
Welcome to News 25 here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. Today is Monday, December 12th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, a home that was vacant and scheduled for demolition was set on fire late last night. The property representative arrived on scene and stated that there has been squatters going in and out of that boarded up home. The previous renter also destroyed the home. That person was evicted from the property. We spoke to Fire Chief Scott Lewis.
Last evening, just about 11:30 p.m., we were dispatched for a report of a structure fire. It was initially reported in the area of Basin and Blag. We found it just south of Blag, just south of Basin. Crews arrived to find smoke and fire showing, with most of the fire showing on what we call the C side, which is the rear side of the building. Crews quickly commenced an interior attack, which means that they actually went into the structure with their hand lines, quickly extinguished the fire. They did a primary and secondary search and found that there was no occupants in the building. It appeared to be vacant and unsecured at the time of the fire. Crews are investigating, and it is deemed suspicious. So that investigation will be continuing. Contact through dispatch is 751-7000.
If you have any information about that, you're urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 775-751-7000. Well, with the Colorado River shrinking and Lake Mead receding at historic rates, hydropower costs are increasing. But that's not the only reason why VEA members are going to see a 17% increase in their bill come next year.
Inflation is hitting us just like it is at the gas pumps, just like it is at the grocery store. It's been hitting us now for a couple years, several years. When we go back and we look at our power supply cost structure, we've gone up $20 million in the last, from 2019 to 2023. Power costs have gone up $20 million at Valley, from about $36 million up to $56 is our power supply budget next year. Our total budget's in the $70 million range. So we've controlled all of the controllable costs we can, and we've been working hard to do that. But when you see a $20 million increase in power bill coming into Valley Electric, we really don't have a choice. We have to pass that through, otherwise we end up financially insolvent. I mean, we've got to cover our costs. So it is a nationwide phenomena, energy prices going up. In fact, it's more than nationwide, it's worldwide. And it's driven by many, many factors. We were looking at what percent increase in energy is just nationwide, and it runs anywhere from 35% on the low end up to 62%. Your West Coast and your East Coast is getting hit harder, mainly due to the fuel mix they have. But actually all sources of power supply are going up. It's basically going to be a 2.5 cent change in the energy charge. The energy charge today is roughly 12 cents. I think it's 11.956, something like that. It's going to go up to 14.5 cents. The energy charge will go up on all of our rates, whether it's commercial, industrial, residential, irrigation, across the board. The energy charge will go up. The facility charge is going to stay the same. The facility or service charge, we call them both, that stays the same. On our large power rates and our commercial rates, the demand charge is going to stay the same. So it's just the energy component that's going to change. So when you look at your total bill, if I look at a residential customer, the total bill is going to go up about 17%, or about $32 a month. And that compares to the West Coast, East Coast, where it's going up anywhere from 35 to 62%. So we're going to do everything we can to mitigate it. We are doing everything we can to mitigate it. But if we don't pass the costs through, we end up not having enough revenue to cover our power supply costs. And we end up in financial difficulties, and our banks aren't happy when that happens. So we really don't have a choice. I know it'll be difficult. I'm not happy about paying more at my house in the south side of Pahrump, but I think what I'm going to look at my house. I'm going to see if I can do more things from an energy efficiency standpoint. Throughout the year, we're going to be revising rates. We're going to be, once we get this rate increase is going to go into place January 1st, 2 cents on the energy. Once that's in place throughout the year, we're going to be on the demand side for commercial, industrial. We'll raise the demand, we'll lower the energy, and we'll roll that 2.5 cent increase into the base rate. And so we'll be moving to time of use rates on residential throughout the year. Probably in the fall we'll do that. And so what the time of use rate is going to do is it will allow people to use energy at the least cost time of the day, where the energy rate's going to be lower. So what will happen is that 14.5 cent rate will be changed into different time periods, and the energy rate will be lower than that for certain time periods, and it'll be higher than that mainly from 5 o'clock in the evening to 10 o'clock at night, because that's when we see power supply prices in the marketplace at their super highest. We are contract power for about 75% of our supply, and then we're in the market for 25%. And it's that market piece that's driving up our cost. It will actually start January 1st, and through the month of January, depending upon when your billing cycle is, you'll see the rate. You'll see two rates. You'll see the old rate for the number of days that were December usage, and January 1st usage forward will be at the new rate.
To see that full interview with CEO Stallions, you can go to KPVM's YouTube or Facebook page. News 25 will return right after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Lisa Spahitz and Mike Plasmeyer at Country Financial Insurance. Auto, home, life, and commercial. 775-727-8920. Also brought to you by Battleborn Financial. Investing and health insurance made easy. Off Pahrump Valley in Calvada.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, one motorcycle rider sustained life-threatening injuries over the weekend after a collision with a sedan on the highway.
Early evening hours, we were dispatched for a report of what was potentially a 2 to 3 vehicle accident. Crews arrived to find a car versus a motorcycle. The motorcyclist had sustained some critical injuries. Crews quickly assessed the patient and determined that they needed a trauma center. However, the flights were unavailable as they were committed on other assignments. We therefore transported the patient into a local hospital level 1. The two occupants of the vehicle claimed that they were uninjured and declined medical assistance.
Yeah, it was a 2-vehicle crash involving a small sedan and a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. I believe the injuries to the motorcycle rider are non-life threatening at this time. He was transported via Pahrump Valley Fire to Desert View Hospital for treatment. I'm not sure if he'll be going to a trauma center or not at this time. I don't have an exact time at this point. I believe it was somewhere around 7 o'clock, 6:50, somewhere around there. Yes, it appears preliminarily that the motorcycle was traveling eastbound on 372 and the sedan was on Barney headed southbound and making a left turn and pulled out in front of the motorcycle. That's all preliminary, of course. No, not at this time. I believe both of the parties inside the sedan were uninjured in the crash. Yes, if one is needed, and I believe it will be at this point, the at-fault driver will be cited in the crash.
And the Nevada Department of Corrections is reporting a stabbing death at Ely State Prison on Friday, December 9th at around 12:30 p.m. The department says that 21-year-old Tyrex Settles was stabbed. The victim was pronounced dead around 1:19 p.m. at the William B. Ryrie Hospital in Ely. The investigation remains active and no further details are available at this time. The investigation continues. Well, publisher of Pahrump Life magazine, Ron Frazier, has passed away. Frazier, who is a longtime resident here of Pahrump and a businessman, was hospitalized with COVID earlier this month and succumbed to the illness. The businessman and philanthropist was also the co-founder of the Pahrump Chili Cook-Off in Petrick Park and previous owner of Frazier furniture. He leaves behind his family and his wife, Marion. Dr. Tom Waters has written an article on Ron Frazier's life in this month's Prump Life magazine, and you can find it on the shelves right now. On December 3rd, a 54-year-old man was found deceased after falling while canyoneering alone in Death Valley National Park. Canyoneering is a sport that involves descending canyons by a combination of hiking, down climbing, and rappelling. It's typically done as a group activity due to the inherent risk, and Death Valley National Park recommends that anyone going into the backcountry let someone know their plans. The park doesn't track the 1.7 million people that visit every year. This man was not reported overdue, and the search did not start in time to save his life. A satellite communication device, they say, could have also been a lifesaver in this case, and they had several clues that led to a search for that man. A campground host reported a campsite with a tent still in it, but no people after the dates that the site was paid for. Rangers left a note on that site. The Rangers returned back the following day to pack up the abandoned property and found climbing gear and a package with the name and the address on the tent. The Ranger recalled having seen a vehicle in Mosaic Canyon trailhead late in the day when they finished carrying out the person with the injury a couple days earlier. A vehicle was still there, and so they ran the plates. It was registered to a person addressed to the same person that was packaged on the tent. The search and subsequent body recovery were conducted by the National Park Service, Inyo County Search and Rescue, Inyo County Sheriff's Office, Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lakes VX-31 Rescue Helicopter, and California Highway Patrol's H-82 helicopter. The official cause of death will be determined by Inyo County's Coroner's Office. Park rangers and the search and rescue team members observed that the man's rope was not long enough to reach the ground after a long rappel. He tied a piece of webbing to the end of the rope, but it appears to have made a mistake when disconnecting his rappel device to pass the knot joining the rope and the webbing. Rangers estimate that he fell about 30 feet. The man died in the West Fort route in Mosaic Canyon. The first known canyoneering descent of this route was in 2012, and there are over 100 known canyoneering routes in the park, and this is not a route that was commonly descended. Well, we spoke to the founding member of a group that specifically makes appointments and does fundraisers and, of course, social gatherings for the LGBTQ community.
Ours is the LGBT of Pahrump, Nevada, NV, and we've been around for online for 10 years. We started meeting in person July 23rd, so we're 6 months in now. We have our monthly meetings, our women's issues group, a board game night, and we also have a dinner out on the town night. Tonight at Johnny's Taco Shop, we will be having board game night starting at 6 o'clock. Come out, eat, talk, play board games. We're kind of leaning on the slogan, love is love. If you believe love is love, you belong with us. LGBT of Pahrump, NV at yahoo.com. We've been very fortunate to join with some partners. The new Focus Counseling Group had a back to school fund, school supply drive, and we participated in that. Our group was able to raise over $500, and we helped distribute the backpacks. We did a dog food supply drive when the 300 dogs were confiscated by the sheriff's office, and we brought in at least 300 pounds of dog food. And today is the last day that we're working with the Seroptimists for their senior Christmas for Seniors Pahrump event. And we've been collecting toiletry items, socks, robes, lap blankets, things like that to share with the seniors. We're looking for people to join us. Our biggest problem so far has been finding a space that's big enough for us. We find a space, we have our meeting there, and we've outgrown the space already. So if anybody knows a space, we're looking for space, and we're always looking for people who believe love is love to come join us. Facebook is LGBT of Pahrump, NV. So around town, we have been asking businesses if they'd like to be a friendly business. and inclusive of our community and all other communities. And if you'd like to be a friendly business, contact us on Facebook or at our email, and we'll come out and see you. We try to put them in the window. We actually have one at a bar, and of course there's no windows at the bar, so it's behind the bar on the mirror. In the break room, wherever we can get them, to let people know that this is a safe space for all of the community.
Well, thanks so much for Craig stopping by. And for more information, you can find him on their Facebook page. News 25 will return right after this break with your health report.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. Also brought to you by Silver State Health. Visit silverstatehealth.org or call 702-471-0420 for an appointment. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, with the holidays quickly approaching and the colder weather here to stay for a while, it's important to make sure the older adults in your life are still socializing.
What we learned during the pandemic is that social isolation is a really big problem, and it's probably one of the most recognized contributors to mental health issues now in the United States. And for older individuals, it's a bigger deal.
Dr. Ron Frazier with Cleveland Clinic says loneliness can be a precursor for depression, so getting the chance to socialize with others can help improve a person's mood. It can also be beneficial to their cognition and physical health. He says it's okay to be sedentary once in a while, but if it's happening consistently, it can also have negative effects. For example, it can impact your blood pressure, cholesterol, and sugar levels. So how can you encourage an older adult to socialize? Dr. Frazier says you could always go to their home to visit, ask them to go on a walk, or make them a meal. Many communities also offer activities and programs they could attend.
You have to actually be willing to take the risk to do something different than what you're used to help increase the chances that you won't be isolated. And those opportunities, if they're brand new, these are people that you don't know, that's you can look at it as an opportunity to make new connections, meet new people.
And Dr. Frazier says older adults who may be already experiencing feelings of depression should really speak to their doctor. They can offer different treatment options. Well, the move is on. There's a big move happening for Never Forgotten Animal Society. Pat Lemming tells us all about it.
Today's Save a Pet segment is made possible by Realty Executives in Action. Put the team at Realty Executives in action for you.
Hi, this is Pat with Never Forgotten Animal Society, and I got some really good news. We're moving out to our new property at 3091 North David Street off of Bella Vista in the north part of town. This is a culmination of a 4-year plan that we've finally been able to put into place. And we've now moved the shelter out there. We now have over 2 acres of property that we're going to be able to utilize for the care of the animals that are entrusted into our care. And I'm really excited about it. If you get an opportunity, please come out and see us. It's at 3091 North David. Our phone number is still the same, 775-537-8674. And that is going to remain our normal number out there. So if you get an opportunity, please come by and see us at our new location. We are no longer at the 520 East Street location, Suite C. We have moved everything out of there, so please come by our new location at your convenience. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
We couldn't have not shown you the beautiful snow up there on the mountain. It was amazing yesterday and today. What a view. John's going to tell us what's in store with our weather right after this break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios and worldwide on local BTV, the app you need to download right now so you can take us with you. It's awesome. Fernley, 35 degrees, 36 out there in Fallon. Carson City hit 32. Wow, you almost broke freezing all day long. Not as cold as Tonopah, 31 out there. That's a Cool Spot Award winner. Goldfield saw 34, 45 out there in beautiful Beatty. Amber goes up to 47, but is that the hot spot? No. Las Vegas, you're the winner chicken dinner. 48 degrees tonight and 60 degrees out there in Death Valley. But here in the paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look. 41 degrees. That's our current temperature. 44 just a midge earlier. Winds out of the south kindly to 5 miles per hour as the sun rose this morning at 6:45 with all the glory, hope, and promise of a new day, which promptly extinguished this evening at 4:29. It's a beautiful sunset under partly cloudy skies. We're heading down to a low tonight, 28 degrees. Humidity up to 47%. You'd think we'd have clouds tomorrow, but look, behold, no, sunshine instead for the next couple of days, and that's pretty good. Temperatures creeping back up into the 50s. That's a tanning fighting trim, let's say. Cloudy, spotty the next few days. 52 degrees as we finish out the week. But the extended forecast looking like we're heading up into the high 50s next week, and by Christmas, maybe even 60. So it's getting better all the time. All right, back to the desk.
Well, we did do a post on our Facebook page about how Pets Are Worth Saving are having some issues. They're looking for a new building, but there's also a fundraiser craft fair that's going to be happening at their location at 7121 Homestead Road. And you can find out more about that by going to our post that we have on Facebook as well. It is going to be happening on December 17th. That is this Saturday from 9 until 3 p.m. And they're going to have 25 local vendors and music, as well as food trucks and a dog adopt-a-thon. So find out more by looking on our Facebook page, but that is this Saturday, December 17th. There's also a craft fair at Second Amendments, and that's on December 18th from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. They're having local vendors and bakers and a special appearance by the Grinch, and they're at 1360 East Basin Avenue, and they are also looking for vendors as well. If you'd like to get hooked up to a local television, you can go onto Local BTV, and you could download the app. You can watch it on your TV, phone, tablet, and web browser, and just stream us 25.1 through 25.9. That's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Good night.